What's up, lads? Welcome to another Deep in the Shallow podcast, the favorite internet, less known podcast of all time. If you liked it, you know, please subscribe at the d.i.t.s channel on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and Spotify. I'm I'm becoming a little bit tired on doing that stuff, that YouTuber stuff. It's kind of boring, it's kind of boring. I imagine how every single video, every single episode of these guys, they must to do this. I'm sleepy just on thinking of that. Maybe sometimes I just want to use the last episode introduction. You know, it could be better than what I'm doing. And now we have a news to the dits. Uh, that is, I will make some a channel so where I can talk to you guys, where I can chat with you and those stuff. It isn't that big thing, I will make an email for the 1, 2, or 4 guys who listen to me can send their messages, and everyone who every new listener, every new addict to dits can send their email and their messages. Okay, of course, if you just spam me on jiggles and mock me up, I probably won't read your email on podcast, but okay. And the email is dits at podcast.com. Okay, dits d.i.t.s at podcast.com. So for now on, from this episode number 8 on, this will be the official email for listeners, and if you want to send a message, or if you send a message, if you want to send a story or something that you want to tell me, I will just read, as not in the program, I will just read the text of the email, okay, the title, just it, okay. Other things I won't read, but the program, okay. So please, a really nice text. Don't make me waste my time while I am on the show, because if in the last episode, in the last line, you say that you're a fucking Nazi, I will I will spend 20 minutes on my life doing it. But I think will be fun, and that's it. These days, I've done something that I'm not used to do for personal reasons. That I watched something that my girlfriend shared with me. Usually, I don't do this at least, but if I'm with her, because I don't want to. I always made that very clear in our relationship, that is, I don't want to you to get too close of my hobbies, and I don't want to be that close of your hobbies. I respect you. You respect me. You maybe can follow me into one of these hobbies, but You don't need to follow me. But she shared with me an anime. Okay, a cartoon. Yes, cartoon is anime, and if you don't like it, okay, you can be wrong. Just translate what anime means. She sent me this cartoon. I don't remember. I think it's the summer that Hibiko died, something like that. And the working mind, day night, the lonely loneliness don't freeze his mind at night. So I was watching, and I just watched an episode. Probably she will get mad at me because I promised her that I will watch the 3 episodes so we can follow the show together. But I watched 1 episode, and that was enough for me to think a lot of narrative or storytelling. If you thought that I wouldn't talk about storytelling today, you were wrong. But it was really useful for me to think about storytell while I was watching these anime. 'Cause it's not really about story. It's about storytell, but it's more like how different is the narrative on each country. It's funny on each country and on each media, because I was watching a Netflix anime made by it. Of course, if it's an anime, it's made on Japan, and it have its own way to tell stories that is completely different. That also a cartoon, even a serious cartoon at an horror. In this case is a terror anime. Anime. If I tell anime that quick, looks like I'm telling enemy. The bad guy, the enemy. But no, the anime. I think you guys would understand. And it's way different than a regular cartoon. Even a terror cartoon, but it's very different. But it's not just the artwork, because there is American white artworks that emulates the anime drawings, but it's not that messes with you up. I see. I like. Of course, I love comic books and manga as well. The Japanese comic books and manhwa as well. That is the South Korean comic books. And I always noticed that in mangas, that is the different way of languages, not languages in the semantic way, on line way. I'm saying about the language of the how a Japanese expresses, how a Japanese show emotions, how a Japanese tell a story and represents himself, itself, herself in the narrative. Because that's way different. I was, of course, this is a terror anime, and so I will compare with a terror manga that is Junji Ito. Junji Ito is the author. You guys probably know who is Junji Ito. He's or Ito Junji if you are Japanese and you're listening to this. But Junji Ito is I the Japanese terror. It's way different and way stranger than America or even Brazilian terror, if you can say that exists a Brazilian terror. It's way based on mythology, the Japanese mythology, but it's beyond the Japanese terror. It always have that aura around the characters. Not like, let's see an American serial, the American horror story, or even the terror scenes on True Detective. A great, a great series. That moment, you have the tension, but you don't have that aura. I know that the aura term, it's awful. The internet could destroy the aura term into some Gen Z stupid edits. But the aura that surrounds a Japanese terror is it's from the first page. When you read a Junji Ito page, a manga, the first page, I don't know what that asshole has. That the first page, the first characters, you can already tell that something strange is happening, even if if it is regular characters. I feel that even when I'm reading Chainsaw Man, that is a fucking shonen violent fighting manga, completely stupid. But I feel that aura. I think Japanese can treat mystery in a in the very unique. I won't say better way than the Americans and the Europeans, and even in the Europeans you have a lot of a lot of countries. Even Europa, you have a lot of countries, each one with its own way on telling stories, which makes me to another topic that I want to talk when I thought about this, that I wanted to talk a long ago and then didn't knew how to talk it, and I will start to talk right now, and I will be shallow and I won't get deep enough, but it's when you, even if it's terror, if it's uh if it's a shonen, or if it's a regular cartoon on America, a regular show, you have a very clear way of narrative. You look at Akira and you say, that's Japanese. You read the Akira is not a good example on script, but you read, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball a good, isn't a good. A Chainsaw Man. Let's go. If you read a Chainsaw Man script, you understand in the moment that you hit an eye that it's Japanese. Not just that aura that I said, but how the characters are introduced, how the myth, how the fiction is built, how the fictional world most times is built, how the hierarchy of power are made on these manga, on these anime, or in these, movies. If you watch Parasite, you instantly know that that's not American. I know Parasite is Korean, and it's good for my point. Parasite, it's another way to see the the narrative. The South Korean narrative is way different than Japanese narrative. That is way different on American narrative. When you hit an eye on Rick and Morty, you say that's an American country. That's an American country. That's an American cartoon. And what gets me ashamed, not ashamed, but kind of sad, or just I noticed that that Brazil don't have that identity. Brazilian art have identity, The let's take the most famous movies in Brazil. That is Elite Squad and City of God. Of course, that I would say that being a Brazilian and talking about a Brazilian movie, so that will be a lot of Brazilian on the comments. You know, the three that listen to me. Some guys will say that I am a stray dog, and I don't know the the director from the interior who made 13 terror movies. No, but I don't know him. I'm a normal guy. I work I work early in the morning. I don't have that time. I'm sorry. I know what it came to me. But that I see that is a common thing on Brazilian media argument. That is Brazil, at least in mainstream, when it's not that stereotype of samba, caipirinha, Rio de Janeiro, and big butts, big tits, and pretty woman and scams and crime. When it's not the stereotype, you see that Brazilian art, it's not creative. It's it is how can I say? It's a frame of our lives. When you jump to South Korea, it have a lot of sociology. Let's say that a sociology on the movie, a lot of social critics and these stuff in Brazil. But you have other types of media that create stuff that it has its own way to make stuff to tell stories. Brazilian art, even okay, the mainstream ones, it's all about representativity, all about represent something, represent Brazil's life. I don't know if you know Brazilian. I have watched one of these two movies, that is City of God and Elite Squad. If you probably know the I'm Still Here, that is a Brazilian movie that won an Oscar in 25, I think, in the March of 25. That it's funny how it's not funny. That is if you analyze I'm Still Here, it's a it's a it's an American narrative, it's very Hollywood way of making movies. I'm sorry, the storytell of I'm Still Here, it really really looks like a normal Hollywood. It's a great movie, it's a great script, great directing, great actress, whatever. But not say that much about Brazilian art. And the other movies that say more on Brazilian art, it's not creative. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know that it's neither. It just show how Brazilian culture did spread there. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing, because Brazilian art is made by that. If you ask me, as an anthropologist, which I am not, probably I will blame the fact that Brazil lacks on building culture and building a national identity throughout the years. If you ask the Mauricio's historic and anthropologist, probably that will be my answer. As Brazil couldn't, step away, couldn't escape from its stereotypes, or we hug them and adopt them, as many Brazilians do. That when you talk about Brazil, the guy you need to be proud of, you Brazilian, because Brazil has Ayrton Senna, Brazil has had Pelé, has football, Neymar, and you know how this rhythm of words. It's like that guy who says that Brazil is Caipirinha, Ronaldinho Gaúcho, and Rio de Janeiro. You understood? Or you hug this stereotype, or you trying to escape it, but you don't have where to go, and you escape from the Brazilian stereotype, and you end up with a American narrative. Just like I'm still here, just like a lot of scenes of Elite Squad and other movies. And if you get deep in real underdog, in underground Brazilian movies, you won't find something new. You will find a Brazilian context. Okay, you can run away with that. You will find a Brazilian context, but with French references, with Italian references, with British references. Not that these countries is better in making movies. Some of they really are, but it's not that that country has more identity than us. But their art creates something, that narrative that, when you watch a spaghetti western, you say that that is an Italian way of making movies. Even if you compare a spaghetti western and a western, a American western, you can see the whole difference on the movies and the narratives and the pacing. Is not was not a word that I used that much, but the pace of Brazilian stories isn't unique, isn't what makes the difference. A Brazilian movie is a Hollywood movie often, or a European movie in Brazilian context. That's that's it. Because Brazil is this stray dog that have a lot, not in the bad way, not saying that being a stray dog. Even this show, even this project, I was inspired by a Brazilian, by Arthur Petri, that is a Brazilian, but Arthur Petri was inspired by a lot of American, of a lot of European guys. So, and these European guys and Americans, I don't know where it is the references, but it's a unique way on telling stories. And of course, nothing is created; everything is it's copied and replicated. But you see that, yeah, I can be wrong. Maybe I am wrong about Brazilian art, and maybe I am right on Brazilian art. And I lost my mind now. Probably I will never get in the point again. So that's it. Well, you guys already know that myself, I am not a guy who is into the news every time. So when I upload the episode, I try not to say about news and these stuff. It's funny how, after 2 weeks of the Black Sabbath goodbye, Mr. Sir, Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne died. And this month of July it's fucking a mess. Because Hulk Hogan also dies. And it's, in the future, we will not remember that. It's funny. It's funny how when you take a long term, when it's about time, we will forget that some details that for us today is a big thing, such as in Brazil, a famous, not a really good famous or good artist. Is the Preta Gil died also. So July is a July's been a pretty messy month because Ozzy died, Hulk Hogan died, and these Brazilian famous died also. And yeah, I told about that. I don't know why. I don't know. Actually I'm without schedule. I'm without script today. I'm just talking everything that comes in my mind. Because this episode, it's harsh to come out on air. I recorded the first block and then I just blank it out. I'm without any ideas of which talk, and so I will just chat a little bullshit with you guys. I traveled since the last episode. I went to a special trip with my girlfriend. That I went to a place called Caldas Novas. That is a thermos in Brazil. A place where the water it's boiling, it's hot, and it's nice. But when you say that, you guys maybe could think about that Japanese thermos that have capybaras and it's very relaxing. But actually, it's not. It's a fucking touristic place with a lot of resorts, and maybe none of that water is natural. It's just a mess on pee and hot water made artificial way. I don't know who the hell think saw a warm river and thought, well, this is the place of my Imperium, and then started this fucking gigantic city. Not gigantic, but this great city with lots of touristic place. And, and it's so artificial. It's artificial. Uh, that make me remember how I began this blog speaking about how how age works, because I lived. I am from Brasilia, so I visited Caldas Novas several times in my life, and I suffered I I witnessed a phenomenon when I was there that is a fucking bad nostalgia. I can't explain well. When you are in short time period, everything looks really important and really big. But the nostalgia not often works in a good way and make you feel good about the things that have passed. When I was in the alley, not the alley, I'm sorry. When I was on the center of Caldas Novas, I was with my girlfriend's family and she. And then I started staring that place where I was so happy when I was a kid, when I was a child. And then I was back there as a grown up man. And and it was really different. I noticed that nothing on that city was real. The only thing that was real was my nostalgia and my feelings with the person around. Because nothing in a futuristic city maybe is natural. Nothing. The stores. When you go to a small town and there you get these little stores who sell some different shit that you don't have in the city, in the metropolis. When I was there, that that stores, I saw 30, 40, 50 stores who sell the same fucking thing in a repetition all over the alleys and the streets. And I don't remember to be like that. I remember every store that I stopped with my parents was special on this way. Maybe I am just a grown up man complaining about grow up. But that feeling made me so sad. Not the entire city, not the entire way. I was happy. I was with my girlfriend. I was enjoying every second. But that moment when I was on the center with a park and local food, I was damn how I miss the the kids feeling, the child feeling when I came with my mom and my stepdad and my brother, and everything looked more natural. Even the resort, we went to a resort with with wave pools and a lot of kids running. It was really cool. I was with my girlfriend. We have such fun, but it's not the same thing. I know that it's not the same thing. It's not supposed to be the same thing. I will go back in Caldas Novas with my kids, with my child when I have when I have one, and of course it will be a different feeling, and I will build this with these kids. But in that moment, but right now, in the future, I will just forget about this feeling. But I think that's why this is here. Not only create content, but record a feeling. That could be a really good slogan of record a feeling. D.i.t.s, recording a feeling. I remember that my eyes was full of water when I looked some things. I remembered my mom every second. I remembered my brother. Not they not they don't die. They don't run away. They don't are gone. They were in my house. They were cool in the house, but the feeling came up, and when I saw I was walking in that fucking heat in Brazil, the winter in Caldas Novas, it's hot, but I was with my eyes full of water. I didn't understand how. I was kind of drunk, so maybe maybe that's the reason why I was feeling that. But it's gone. It's gone. Speaking about nostalgia. So yeah, besides the episode is late. The first week that it's don't release an episode. Besides that, the episode will be shorter. Yeah, the few fans that this project has will be a lot of angry, but I don't know. I'm into some shit these days. I'm hanging out a lot and I don't have time to this. But this episode will release this week and I will try to not release any episode late. The routine of the college will be back. So I had a month of bright ideas and good mood, and next week, next month, I am in fucking trouble. You guys will hear me a lot of bad mood, but maybe better episodes. So if you like it, remember to send your email to dits at podcast.com. Just dot com. Dits at podcast.com. The email made for you guys to send your questions, your ideas. It, as we don't have a lot of viewers, anything you send, it will be a script for the show. So please, if you liked it, send something and follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, on Instagram, and share with your friends. That's the most important thing. If you think your friend will like some white noise for work or study or walk or go in the bus, please send this to him. And thank you. Thank you for the patience. Thank you for the audience, and see you later. That's it.